Hello and welcome to Wild Ginger Running's live gear chat at 1 p.m. live on a Tuesday. Today we're going to be talking about waterproof trousers from a number of different brands. And I just wanted to let you know, if you can't catch me on a Tuesday, there's really good news, because from 2019 onwards, I'm going to be doing these gear chats and also chatting to some elite athletes at a new time. It's going to be Wednesday at 8:30 p.m. So every Wednesday, tune in for either a gear chat or a chat with an elite athlete or an expert of some kind in the world of trail and ultra running. So that's like coaches, nutritionists, maybe a physio. So that's coming for 2019. So welcome to everybody who's joining the chat today. Keep your questions coming. I'll try and answer as many of them as possible during the chat. I've just got Tobbs just signing in there. Hi Tobbs. He's got man flu today, so he can watch. I've been told there's no such thing as man flu. I've been told that man flu is a very real thing. So I hope you get better soon, Tobbs. So waterproof trousers. I've got a few pairs in that I've been using over the past kind of few years, really. So I'm going to be talking today about some waterproof trousers from the OMM. I'm going to be talking about waterproof trousers from Innovate, some smaller waterproof trousers from OMM, and then I'm going to be telling you there's a couple of more pairs that I wanted to discuss with you that I don't have in, but I just wanted to tell you about them. And there's a couple of pairs that I have worn in the past that are more like hiking trousers as well. So that's just some different options for you there. I'm also going to tell you how I got this on my head. I've put some makeup on to cover it up, but basically it's a huge Harry Potter style scar across my forehead. So I will be letting you know how I got that if you haven't already found out from my social media. And then if we have time at the end, I am going to be opening this live at the end. It is from Alp Kit. So I wonder if anyone can guess what this is, but I'll be opening it live at the end. So yes, we just had Jason Fisher on. He says man flu can be fatal, so be careful, Tubbs. So there we go. I think I'm getting a bit of a cold. My husband's got a cold at the moment, and we were in the Lake District running around at the weekend filming some things for Ellis Brigham, so I will not be surprised if we both go down with something horrendous this week. But right, let's get started. So what you're looking for in a pair of waterproof trousers is there's several things that apply to all, but in my view, there's two types of waterproof trousers that runners should be interested in. And the first type is a pair for racing that you're just going to put in your bag. They're going to be really lightweight. They're on the mandatory kit list. They need to have tape seams. I'll go through that in a minute again. And they're just in case trousers. So you've looked at the forecast, you don't really think it's going to rain. These are your really super lightweight, just in case trousers. And then the second type of pair of waterproof trousers are ones that you think you're going to have to wear possibly all day. They're going to have to be a bit heavier, a bit more durable, a bit comfier perhaps, and they don't need to be so light because you're actually going to be wearing them on your body and not carrying them in your pack. So let's look at the just in case ones first of all. So the best pair that I've currently been trying is this pair from OMM. So these are the Halo pants. It costs about £75, but I've seen them online for 65 as well. And these weigh an absolutely staggering 75 grams. These are the lightest pair of dedicated waterproof trousers that I've seen. Do correct me if there's any lighter from anywhere else. This one is 75 grams. That's for a woman's medium. I don't know what the men's version looks like, but with waterproof trousers, I don't tend to worry if there's not a women's version. Like a unisex waterproof trouser usually does just really fine for me. A waterproof trouser is basically just a thing that you put over your leggings, and it doesn't have to be shaped in any way. I find that a unisex trouser works well, but it's nice of OMM to put a women's version forwards. And I'll just open these up now. Can you see how small they are? Like it fits into the palm of my hand. Look, it's in the palm of my hand. 75 grams. Are you going to notice this in your pack for mandatory kit? Nah. So I'm going to open these up, and they've even got like a little baffle over there so they don't pop out. But so you open them up, and wow, it's like a magician pulling out one of those flags, isn't it? That becomes then a tiny pocket at the waistband. And I'm going to be trying on these waterproof trousers today to show you how easy they are to get on over over shoes, because that's one of the important things to look for in a waterproof trouser, is how easily you can get them on over a pair of trail running shoes, usually a very muddy pair of trail running shoes at that. But first of all, I'll just take you through the main features that you're going to be looking for in every pair of waterproof trousers. The first thing would be taped seams. So can you see there, there's purple just there, that's the seam. So when you puncture any waterproof fabric by sewing it together, it will get tiny holes in. So to combat that, to re-waterproof the garment, then companies will put a tape over that. So you can't really see it here because they've used a really, really light see-through tape, but there will be a tape over that seam so that when you're not looking at it through a video camera, you'll be able to see. I don't know if we can see it a bit better in one of the other ones, just in case you're not familiar with tape seams. Yeah, in this one, see here. So you can see the seam has been taped over by this grey stuff here. So that's what's called a taped seam, and that's what you're looking for. That's what the race organizer means when they say in the mandatory kit list they need waterproof trousers with taped seams. So that's taped seams covered. And then, so that you can get them on easily, you really, really need to look for either a baffle type effect at the lower leg here, so that you can get it on over your shoes. So here we've got a Velcro section here, so that it turns the trouser into a flared trouser, and then you can Velcro it back on so that that doesn't flap around whilst you're running. So the other option there would be a zip. Voila. So the heavier weight waterproof trousers will have a zip, so that's even easier. See how wide that is? You can really get your foot in really easily. So I'm just going to demonstrate how easy it is to get into these ones, the really, really super light ones. Nice colour as well, purple. Hey, has anyone else got a pair of purple waterproof trousers? I've never worn a pair quite so bright as this one before, but it certainly goes with my t-shirt. So let's have a go. So just a little note, when I pack my waterproof trousers, I always pack them with the zips undone, so that I'm not standing there on a wet, cold mountainside trying to get the zips undone, or even worse, putting your foot in and finding that you haven't already got the zips undone. So I always pack my waterproof trousers with the zips undone. That's just a little life hack there. So I'm just gonna put these on. Definitely want to look for an elasticated waistband, and then that's 1 foot in. That's actually fine with that baffle there. And then, yeah, those work well. So that's the halo pants on. They're a bit swishy. They're not the most, flattering and attractive of trousers to wear. I would say that of any waterproof pant, really. We're not going to a fashion parade here, but I'm loving the 80s purple. That's a great colour. I really like that. So that's how they get on. Then you are also, I'll just take them off so I can show you the rest of what I want to talk about. I can show you that here actually. I can show you the articulated knee. So the better waterproof trousers will have a bit of articulation. So can you see there is some orange just here and here? So that's basically articulated knee. So that's going to help you with the running motion like that. If you don't have any articulation anywhere on the pant, it can be a bit irritating to run in. And then the other thing that you want to definitely make sure about is that you've got some elastication at the waist, because this is a really lightweight pant. It's not going to have a drawcord, so you can't adjust the elastication at the waist. So you need to make sure that that's okay to begin with. This is plenty of room for me. It's plenty tight enough for me. Good job I haven't eaten any more today, but yeah. So I'm not going to be falling out of these trousers, and they're not going to be falling down while I'm running because they're nice and tight. So yeah, the last thing I've got on my list is the weight of the waterproof trousers. So I've mentioned this already. These are 75 grams, which is absolutely amazing. It's worth noting as well that the OMM also make a really super lightweight race pant called the Ultra Pant, which is 86 grams, so only 10 grams heavier, and it costs £80. So it's a little bit heavier and it's a little bit more pricey. So potentially you'd want to go for this one over the OMM one, but you might find a good bargain in the January sales, so you never know. So I've just got a comment coming in. That guy on a bike says he always finds the zip is done up when he's getting into waterproof trousers and gets his foot wedged down the bottom. Definitely need to pack them undone. Yeah, pack your waterproof trouser zips undone so you can get them on quicker. So that is a very quick run through of the OMM Halo Pant. And I now want to show you the Innovate Race Pant. So the Innovate Race Pant, we talked just really briefly about the Innovate Ultra Pant, which is their equivalent of that OMM Halo Pant, which is the purple ones here. So the Race Pant is Innovate's a slightly heavier weight pant. It's one of those pants that you'd probably, if it was looking like it was raining outside, you'd put this on because you'd want to wear it all day. It's much more comfortable. And we'll talk about the fabric in a minute because there's something quite special about this fabric. So this is a men's medium because they just do a unisex pant. I don't think that you need a particular ladies fit version in waterproof trousers. I've been wearing this just fine, and it's a men's pant, fits just as well. This is called the Race Pant, and it's a medium, and it's 170 grams. So that's a really good weight. It's one of the lightest weight pants on the market of this type that you'd want to wear all day. And it comes with this little stretchy elastic bit on the it's at the back of the pant there, so you can actually just fold it up, and then you can use that as a bit of an elastic band just to keep the pant in place like that and stop it from unraveling like that. So you undo that, and then pant comes out like this, and you can see immediately that there is a huge water resistant zip all the way to the knee, which is absolutely brilliant. So that means that you can just open it up before you pack them away, and then you've got all of that room with which to poke your shoe through the waterproof in even the windiest, horriblest conditions. So that works really, really well. Then at the end here, we've got just a stretchy elastic. So that just means that it's not going to be flapping around whilst you're running, and but there's no, you can't vary the stretchiness of that elastic. So just make sure that that's okay for you, that the circumference of that end of the trouser there. And then the great thing about this fabric is that it's stretchy. So if you are going to be running all day and you know that it's going to be pretty horrible weather all day, but you can put these on and it's really comfortable to run all day wearing a stretchy fabric like this as a waterproof trouser. So believe me, I've been there. I've run all day in stretchy fabric waterproof trousers, and it's just like wearing leggings, but a bit warmer and also drier. So these are they. I'm just going to demonstrate putting them on again, just so that you can see how easy it is to put on with the zips already done up. So one leg in, and when the foot gets to about here, you can just do that and then pull it up. You can even do, like, you know how you, gentlemen, I don't know if you know how to put tights on, but you can kind of roll them up like as if you were wearing tights. Oh, haven't undone the zip. Just roll them up as if you were wearing tights, a pair of tights. Roll them all the way to the zip. Then get your hands pointing through there, through the hole. Then put your foot through like so, really quickly if it's muddy, and you've got your foot through, then you just pull it up. There we go. Lesson on how to wear waterproof trousers. So then you undo that, do up the zip like so, like so. It's worth trying these on in the shop just to make sure they're the right length. It's good to have a pair of waterproof trousers that's slightly longer than you think you need, just because when you're running, you're going to be doing this, obviously, and just the stretch there is absolutely brilliant. It's really good to have a nice stretchy waterproof trouser. The only downside of these trousers that for me isn't as good is they don't have a drawcord around the waist, and these, they're quite baggy for me. So I would probably not get on so well with these on a long run because they might start to fall down a bit. So that's the only downside to the Innovate Race Pant, is that it doesn't have a waist drawcord. So that's just something to consider when you're looking for a pair of waterproof trousers. So I'm going to take these off now, and I'm going to show you my favourite pair of waterproof trousers that I've been wearing for years and years, which are, can anyone guess? Anyone guess what my favourite pair of waterproof trousers is? Anyone got any, I wonder? Basically, my favourite pair of waterproof trousers is the OMM race pant. And I'm going to tell you, when I got this trouser off my foot, I'm going to tell you why. Just got a question coming in here from Tobbs. Are they too hot to run in for long? That totally depends on the outside conditions. So a pair of waterproof trousers like this, say on the Cape Wrath Ultra in Scotland, absolutely vital. If you're running, if you're out there all day in the pouring rain and the freezing cold, then definitely you will not get too hot in a pair of waterproof trousers like this. Yeah, it just depends on the outside conditions, depends how hot you run, depends how much insulation you've got in the form of fat on your body as well. And it just totally depends. But if you're getting too hot in a pair of waterproof trousers, there's things you can do with your upper body that can vent yourself. So you can undo the zip of your waterproof jacket. You might have the cuffs of your waterproof jacket that might, if you undo those, the air comes out every time you swing your arms. So there's things you can do with other parts of your body to vent yourself if you're getting too hot wearing a pair of these. But wearing a pair of waterproof trousers is kind of my last resort. If I think it's just a bit of drizzle that's going to pass quite quickly, I try never to put waterproof trousers on, because if you're running, especially if you're in a race, you don't want to be stopping and putting a pair of these on. So I try not to wear them, or I think I'm definitely going to need them, I'll start out wearing them. But just beware of that as well, because if you start out wearing them, you might find that you get really hot really quickly. It's rare that I will wear a pair of waterproof trousers to run in, but it's good to have a pair should you need them, especially on longer races if you're going to start hiking and speed hiking. So yeah, hope that answers your question. And also a big thanks to Guy Greatorex, just a shout out there. He's just given £5 on the super chat, so that's great. If Guy, if you've got any questions, then I'll bump yours to the top of the queue. There's another question from Tobbs. He says, I have not got much fat, but I run in shorts in the snow. I'm always hot whilst moving. I totally agree with you there. My favourite outfit for running in the snow is actually a pair of 3/4 tights like I'm wearing today, and a t-shirt and a pair of gloves which come down quite a long way over my wrists like that, and a buff as well. So I run really hot. I always get really hot when I'm running. But I suppose when I'd put a pair of waterproof trousers on would be if I know I'm going to be out for a long time in a race and I've slowed down my pace and it's driving wind, I'm on the top of a mountain, it's really exposed. That's when I'd wear a pair of waterproof trousers. You'll get to, well, when you get experienced in mountain running, you'll get to know the times when you think, right, now I've got to put them on before it's too late, rather than waiting for storms to pass. You'll get a sense of it. Basically, if everybody else starts putting their waterproof trousers on, maybe think, oh, maybe I should put my waterproof trousers on. But you never know, they might all be wrong. So just do what you think is best to not get hypothermia. So favourite waterproof trousers, OMM Lycra. So these are absolutely brilliant, apart from a couple of things which I will tell you about. So these, again, like the Innovate trousers, they're really stretchy. So the OMM do a jacket called the Cam Lycra as well, which you've probably heard of, which is also made of this stretchy material. They were one of the first companies to start using stretchy materials, and I'm a big fan of OMM stuff. And so these are similar to the Innovates, but they're £120. So the Innovate race pant was £110 retail price. These are £120, and there's a few more features in this that will make you understand the extra £10. I'll go through those. You can find these online for £100, but you can find the Innovate race pants online for more like £80. So these ones weigh a tiny bit more, 10 grams more than the Innovate race pant. So Innovate race pant was was 170 grams for a men's medium. These are 181 grams for a men's size small, which is the pair that I wear. So so a little bit heavier, a little bit more pricey, but I'm going to say that these ones are more of a winter running waterproof trouser, and the Innovate ones, they could do for winter, but they're more of a 3-season pant. They could do winter, but there's something about these pants which I'm going to show you which makes them even more winter friendly. So we'll start off from the top. So it's got a nice stretchy waistband here, and inside it's like all the other ones, they're all 2.5 layer fabric, but this one has got little dots there to which is just their specific waterproofing fabric. And we've got instead of just a stretchy drawcord, there's actually a tie here, so you flip this like that, and then you can make it bigger and smaller. Can you see that there all right with the lighting? Yeah, so there's a draw cord here which you can pull tighter like that, and then you just flip it over. That's not the best design, I don't think. I'd rather have a clip which then you can tighten and not tighten. This is quite fiddly to use when you've got gloves on, so you have to open this ratchet thing here and pull it and then push it down, and that's kind of fiddly. What I want is something that just clips in, and then I can pull it tighter or not tighter, just like you have on the chest straps of a backpack. That's what I prefer to see there. But it's nice to get it's nice to have adjustment at the hips, because the Innovate one didn't, and I would think that for me they might start falling down after a while. So that's the drawcord waist. Then inside there's this kind of funny pocket, and that's great. You can fold the trousers into the pocket. It's a really stretchy pocket as well. But sometimes when you're trying to hoik the trousers up or change the adjustment on the waistband or something, or get something out of your pocket of your just get into the trousers for a pocket in your leggings, this can sort of get in the way. I don't generally use a pocket in my waterproof trousers. They're just an over trouser that I'll wear and then take off again, hopefully quite soon. So I don't tend to store anything in them. So if I was going to wear these again, I might even consider cutting the pocket out, just because I just remember finding it a little bit irritating and getting in the way, but others of you might not. So these are the trouser. They have got articulated knees, or have they? No, they haven't. They haven't got any articulation because they are stretchy. But the main difference between these trousers and the Innovate trousers is the end of the trouser. So here, this is on the inside of the ankle. Innovate have a reinforced fabric area here, and that means that if you're in the snow and you're wearing a pair of micro spikes to dig into ice and hard packed snow, then this will protect your ankles, and it will hopefully stop your waterproof trousers from getting a snag or a rip in, because it's just a bit more durable there. So that's what makes these trousers a little bit more wintry, and this is what adds that 10 grams of extra weight over the Innovate race pants. The other nice thing, well, it might be nice in your opinion, it might be not. The other nice thing about this trouser is that it's got this elasticated loop here right at the end of the trouser. So I'll just put them on so that you can see what I mean. It sort of hooks the trouser over your shoe rather than it hooks the trouser over your shoe rather than having a trouser that ends just above the shoe, which can be annoying because when the water runs down, then I'll just put one foot through there. So can you see there? Right, so that's gone around my shoe there. So if you flip, you can't really tell very well there, but so basically if you have the trouser like that, it's sort of, oh, you can't see, it sort of pulls, it's sort of like a gaiter over the shoe. So it pulls the trouser over the front of your laces there. So rather than the trouser finishing at your ankle here and the rain dropping into your shoe, this little harness here just makes the material sit over the top of your shoe, and then rain slides down and it doesn't go into your shoe as much. So it is a nice little design, that. The only thing is that obviously after a fair few miles, that's going to wear out, and so you can buy a new one obviously, but it is going to wear out and it is going to go at some point. So that it's an interesting design, and I thought at first when I used it, I was like, oh, that's a bit weird, but actually it works really well to get the rain sliding over your foot rather than the elastic of the Innovate waterproofs, which that's just elastic. So that see if I can take my shoe off, because I really want to explain this properly. I don't know if I explain it properly. So the Innovate waterproof is elasticated, so it finishes here. So you've got your foot in the shoe, and then it bunches around your ankle and it finishes here. So any rain drops straight down your ankle. In the Innovate ones, because of the harness on the shoe, like so. Don't know if I've got that the right way around, but because that's on the shoe like that, it's more like that, so a bit more of a gaiter effect. So can you see that the rain is going to just slide down the side of the shoe rather than sliding into your sock and your ankle area? So I hope that makes sense. But that's what I found that's why the Innovate Cam Likers are my current favourite running trouser, especially for the winter. But if I was racing, I would just use really super lightweight Halo Pant from OMM, or the really super light Ultra Pant from Innovate. So they're the two main brands that I have personally tried. I also have a couple of pairs of hiking trousers as well, which I used to wear before I got a pair of proper running pants. So you can just wear a pair of hiking waterproofs. So this is a pair of Berghaus. I think it's the Duluth Trouser. I think they're about £60. So the benefit of walking trousers is they're a lot cheaper. They're not that much heavier. The Deluge Pant, this is a lady's size 10, so that's a small basically. These are 216 grams. So yes, a bit more, like 40-50 grams more, but it's not tons, especially if you don't want to fork out for loads of money, or if you've already got a pair of these, then that's fine. The only downside is that they're quite large around the ankle. It's quite good because they will go over your shoe, so the rain won't, like with the Innovate trouser with the elastic around the ankle, it won't, it means that the water will go over your shoe and down the side of the shoe rather than into your sock. But it also means that they'll flap around a bit in the wind because they're not designed to be a running trouser. They're also not stretchy at all. So you do need to buy them a bit baggier so that you can actually move in them. And you might find that this sort of, when you run, when I run in these, they sort of slide slowly down. So you definitely need to have a drawcord to make sure that that happens as little as possible. So yeah, somebody's just written, that guy on a bike has just written, what is the best way to repair waterproof trousers? I think he's just seen this large piece of gaffer tape here on my walking trousers. So yeah, gaffer tape works. So if you're ever on a multi-day race, definitely wind a couple of bits of gaffer tape around your hiking pole, because not only can that fix a hiking pole when it breaks, that's what I had to do with mine on the Cape Wrath Ultra, that you can also repair your waterproofs just as a quick repair by putting a bit of gaffer tape on. So I usually pack black. You can get silver, I think you can get different colours as well, but black's quite useful, it just kind of fits everything. And then just show you another pair. This is another pair of slightly lighter waterproof trousers from Go Light. So this is another hiking pair as well. So again, a bit rustly. They're not stretchy at all in as fabric, and they're 210 grams for a woman's medium. So it's just, if you already do hiking, then you can just fold up a pair of your lightest weight hiking trousers, and you can use them as waterproof trousers. But they're just not as good. They're not stretchy, and they flap about at the ankle. So it's definitely good if you are going to be doing quite a lot of running to invest in a dedicated running pair. So just coming to a couple of questions before I give you a couple of other recommendations which I've looked out for you. So Horror Beauty FX says if she goes runs in shorts here, she gets frostbite. So it's 10 degrees Fahrenheit or below for the winter months where she is. So she's happy to see an option for warm waterproof pants. That's good. And Guy Greatrex says, what about gaiters? So that's really interesting, because do you know what? I have never actually worn gaiters to run in. I've seen people wear them, and I've worn them for hiking as well, but I've never actually worn them to actually run in. The places that I've seen them in hot kind of deserty type races. So people have got them on their debris gaiters, so they're not actually waterproof. They're just wearing them so that the grit doesn't get into their shoe, and they just come up from the shoe like that. And you can actually buy a pair of the Salomon shoes. Killian Jornet wears a pair of Salomon shoes which have a built-in gaiter, so that you don't get any grit into your shoe, and it kind of comes up from the shoe a bit like a sock, and really hugs the ankle. But gaiters for running shoes, you could wear a pair. I suppose the reason that I don't is because with those Cam Leica trousers, because of the elasticated system that goes under the foot, it sort of acts like a gaiter in that the rein slides down the sides and over the top of the shoe rather than into your ankle, which is what a gaiter is protecting you against. And so for that reason, a gaiter on your foot is just another bit of kit. It's more weight. It's another thing to faff around with. Once you've got it on, can you adjust your laces quickly? All of that kind of thing. So I don't personally wear gaiters for any of my running, but maybe I should have a go and see if it makes me any more comfortable. But yeah, I just haven't found a use for them, and I haven't seen many of the elite British fell runners or long distance runners using them. So that's why I haven't really investigated those, but maybe that's something I should investigate in the future. Let me know. Horror Beauty FX has a really good tip. Tenacious tape works really well. So if you've got a hole in your waterproof trousers or your waterproof jacket, grab a bit of tenacious tape and stick it on, or gaffer tape. Sellotape does not work, just so you know. So Guy Greatrex says, if your waterproofs are flapping around, is a cycling clip good? Yes, a cycling clip is good. And also, those reflective things that kind of snap onto your arm and curl up, you can use those as well to stop them from flapping around. But again, it's just another bit of kit to faff around with and another bit of kit to buy. So if you can invest in a good quality pair of waterproof trousers, then that's going to be of benefit there. So those are the waterproof trousers I've shown you. I've shown you the Halo, 75 grams, absolutely amazing, lightweight. Pack it in your bag for a race if you think you might not need them, but you need it as mandatory kit. Also, the Ultra Pant is the same-ish, 80 pounds and 86 grams. So, and then we've got the two from and Innovate, which were the Cam Leica from which is, this is my favorite because of the harness system, which slides water over the side, and you can wear micro spikes with them. A little bit heavier and a little bit more expensive than the Innovate race pant, which was really nice, but slightly big of the waist set of waterproof trousers from Innovate. So that's the Innovate race pant, and they're 170 grams for a men's medium. So a little bit lighter than these ones, but they need a drawcord at the waist for if I'm going to wear them. So those are the waterproof trousers that I would generally recommend to people. But there are 4 others I just want to mention that I haven't been able to get my hands on, but you might be able to, and other people here might know about them, so they might be able to comment in the comments below. So first of all, I just want to mention the Raid Light waterproof trousers because I did get asked about this on the YouTube comments recently. I asked the Raid Light rep if he would send me a pair of the Raid Light waterproof trousers, but he said a couple of years ago they decided not to have the zip in the side anymore. So he said it was now harder to get them on in the rain, and he didn't think it was a very good move for them to design them like that. So for that reason, he didn't want to send me a pair, probably in case they didn't get a good review. But as we've seen with the Halo just here, if you've got a sort of a flared effect with Velcro, then they can go on pretty easily. So I wouldn't necessarily be put off by that if you see a pair going as a bargain this January. Then we've got oh yeah, Chuck Coffin is just on saying head injury looking good. Yes, I will tell you about that on the end, but I promised myself I'll do this before I tell you my little story. So Chuck Coffin would like me to post the styles and the names of the various brands of waterproof trousers. I will do that as soon as we're offline. I'll put all the names of the waterproof trousers that I recommend with the Amazon affiliate links as well in my description below. So just click show more or that drop down arrow and you'll see all of them listed there. It might take me a few minutes, so it won't be up immediately, but I'll do that over the next hour after I finish. And Chuck Coffin also says, perfect timing to present this gear topic as we are experiencing our early winter climate here in the United States Midwest. Wow, it's so interesting, isn't it? All the different places that people are coming from, because here in the UK, we're having one of our warmest winters ever. It's pretty cold today, but for December, it's actually really warm here, and it's really, really strange. One year in November, we had snow that lasted for about 3 months. I remember this time last year, I was doing some live on my YouTube channel, and it was snowing in Stamford. So yeah, check out last year's YouTube channel for some snow where I live. Yeah, so people just agreeing there on the chat about it being cold in the Midwest in the United States. So that was the Raid Light. They didn't want to send it because they have not got a leg zip anymore. Ultimate Performance. I also asked the rep if he would send me a pair because I've heard good things about the Ultimate Performance waterproof trousers, but he said that there's no availability for either the men's or the women's. He's having a stock nightmare, and there's not any available at the moment. So he didn't want me to talk about them because then he didn't want to disappoint everybody by them not being able to buy them. So if you can get your hands on a pair of Ultimate Performance waterproof trousers, I've heard that they're very good, and I've heard good reviews about them. And so you're very lucky if you can find a pair of late, because apparently they're in very scarce supply. Then there's 2 more to go. So there's WAA, who make a lot of adventurous kit for big races like the Marathon des Sables. I've tweeted them, I've emailed them, I've contacted them on Facebook Messenger. They've written back to me on Twitter saying, you can email us on this email, and I've emailed them again on the same email, and they have just not got back to me. So I'm really sorry, but I haven't got a pair of WAA waterproof trousers here for you to test. I've heard good things about them, but I don't know any more than that because I haven't got them here. They just didn't reply to me. So if anyone knows anyone from WAA, please tell them that I called and I'm waiting. Then interestingly, so I've talked about the main brands that I use, which is Innovate and OMM. I really totally rate their waterproof trousers. Go get a pair, you would not be disappointed. But if you're on a very strict budget, that kind of trousers, it's like 100 quid, 80 quid, 65 quid minimum. Decathlon do have a pair of waterproof running trousers for £35, so they might be worth looking at. They are similar in weight to the 2 heavier weight ones that I showed you from OMM and Innovate, so they're not going to be super, super light like the ones that you put in your pack just in case, but for £35, you'll get a size large pair of Decathlon trail running waterproof trousers for weighing 174 grams for a men's size large. Apparently they come up small, so you might want to think about getting a size bigger if you are going to go for a Decathlon pair. So it's just so you know that they exist. They're £35. I haven't got one in to test, so I don't know how good they are in comparison to the standard brands. But if you are on a really tight budget, then that is what you could try. I mean, you could get 2 pairs of those for the price of another one. But if you can, I would always invest in one of the more established brands, because they've done the R&D, they have their own athletes, they know what works, and they will offer you really good customer service if it doesn't. So that's just my opinion. So OMM and Innovate for me are the best at making waterproof trousers, and my absolute favorites at the moment are the OMM Camelicas. But there's parts of both of them that I wish that they'd kind of done differently. But everyone, you can't just get a custom made pair of waterproof trousers, can you? Everyone's going to find like little quirks and pros and cons with each thing. So great. Let's so that's waterproof trousers done, and now I'm going to tell you about this. And then I'm going to open this live. But first I'm going to read some questions. So let's just go back to some questions. So, there's lots of questions coming in. Keep the questions coming. I'm here right now, and I'll be here for another at least 10 minutes. So keep the questions coming in. If you want to know anything about waterproof trousers, if you don't understand about tape seams, then let me know. Basically, I'm here to just help you and answer any of your questions. So we'll go through a few of them now. This is making me laugh. Tobbs says, how about a waterproof onesie? Do they exist? My street cred would be through the roof. So you may joke, Tobbs, but actually waterproof onesies do exist in the skiing world. So you can get like what is basically a baby's romper suit. I know that Hagloves did one once, and it was really hilarious because it was like a onesie, and it was a couple of years ago when, you know, everyone was wearing onesies to go out. Students were wearing onesies, looking like there was bands of animals running around the streets in Sheffield because they were all wearing onesies. But yes, you can get a waterproof onesie. It's basically like a boiler suit. You just put it on, and there's a really long zip that goes all the way up to the top, and you're totally waterproof. And wouldn't that be an amazing thing if there was a stretchy one that you could run in? That would be so cool. It's like a bit like those morph outfits that you see, you know, like where their whole face is covered and it's a bit weird. So yes, Tobbs, there is a waterproof onesie. I dare you to buy one and send us all a photo of you wearing it. Right, so we've got a totally off-topic question here from Arm DIY. Garmin or Sunto for an ultra 50 miles? Ooh, well, that's a question for another time, I think, because today's chat is about waterproofs, but I've always used Garmin's. I've heard on the grapevine that if you want altitude, if you want really accurate altitude, go for a Sunto. If you want really accurate distance, go for a Garmin. That's just what I've heard on the grapevine from other reviewers and other magazine people that I've talked to. The other thing for a 50 miler is that it depends how long you're going to take doing it, but you'll need to get one that lasts. So my Garmin 235, which is the one I use all the time, that lasts for about, I think, oh gosh, I've forgotten now which one that was. No, the watch that I used on the Cape Wrath Ultra, which had navigation in it, it lasted for 9 hours on navigation mode. And I think my Garmin watch, does it last for 10? I'm really sorry, I can't remember how long it watches. You've caught me off topic there. I haven't done any research yet on this, but Garmin or Sunto for an ultra 50 miles. I would personally go for Garmin because I think the interface is easier than a Sunto. I've used Garmin's a lot, and then when I try to go to a Sunto, I'm like, oh, this is all backwards. But if you love Suntos, then you can work out how to use them. It's not rocket science. But personally, I would use the Garmin 235 for a 50-mile ultra. Hope that helps. Horror Beauty FX says it's the warmest for December in Michigan for us. Wow, and it's still minus 10 Fahrenheit. Wow, that's still pretty cold. There's some chat here about the tape as well, the tenacious tape that you can use for repairing waterproofs. And Jason Fisher says that you can get waterproof onesies for motorcycles too. So yes, people, they are out there. I want to see you wearing them on the trails. Hugo Kramer says, he has the Decathlon waterproofs and he really likes them. They have an elastic cuff that sits behind your knee. So that's good. So Hugo, if you wanted to write a little bit more, you know, like when I've posted this film, you could write like maybe in the comments a little bit about those Decathlon waterproofs. That would really, really help anyone watching this film and using it. Jason Fisher says he wants to get the Decathlon ones for Christmas. Dartmoor, Paul Waldron says says hello. Hello, Paul. Great to catch you on the live. Guy Greytrek says Sunto. So he likes Sunto because you can charge while you're on the go. Yes, with the Garmin Fenix 5, you cannot charge it on the go because the charger is. I don't have the Garmin Fenix here. I had to send it back. But the charger on the Garmin Fenix is here. So you have to push it in like that. And there's no way you can wear it like that on the go. However, with the Garmin 235, which is here, which is my favorite, the charger sits either side like so. It's sort of clamped in like that. So you could put it on your wrist and you could put the charger underneath and you could have it plugged into a portable charger. So you could plug it, you could charge the 235 on the go. I haven't actually done that. I haven't done that. Okay. Oh, it's all happening now. Richard Nash, sorry, I've joined in late to the live stream. How are the OMM halos as waterproofs for ultra trail? The OMM halos are great waterproofs. They're very lightweight. But yes, watch again and you will see me talk about the OMM halos. Very, very light, very light. If I knew that I was going to be wearing them all day, I perhaps wouldn't wear them because they're not quite as kind of robust, durable, and they're not stretchy either. So they're a bit more annoying to wear. They're a bit rustly. But yes, as a pair of emergency waterproof trousers to put in your pack, the OMM Halo or the Ultra Pants from Innovate would be fantastic, 75 grams or 85 grams respectively. So yes, Richard Nash, watch again and all will be revealed to you. Paul Waldron says Garmin also, we've gone off topic now. I'm going to have to talk about, I'll talk about GPS watches next week, shall I, as the last gear chat before Christmas? Yep. And Guy Greytrek says, Garmin, you have to stop timing to charge. I don't think I should talk about GPS watches next week. I don't think I know enough about them. I tend to get one thing and use it to death. Paul Waldron says he has regatta waterproofs, but he didn't realise, although there are taped seams, there are open holes where the side hand pockets would be. Need a new pair, I think. Yes, so that is a feature of waterproof walking trousers. Sometimes they have a hole at the side so that you can access your trouser pocket. So of course, if you're wearing running leggings, you're not going to have a pocket at the side there. If anything, you're going to have one at the back or one maybe slightly to the side, or you're going to have one of those tiny key pockets right at the front. So I would say that you don't really need any access to any pockets when you're having a pair of waterproof running trousers. Okay. Great. Okay, so I'm just going to tell you about my unicorn horn, which is trying to grow through here, and then I'm going to open this live. We're going to see what it is. So basically, you know, in my Q&A films, when I'm standing and there's a shed behind me, so that shed has got quite a low roof and it's got pointy end bits to it. And on one side, there's a bird feeder. So that's the left-hand side of the shed. So to the left of that is a compost heap. And before we went to the Lake District to film with Ellis Brigham, I thought, right, let's go and empty the compost bin onto the compost heap so it won't be a smelly kitchen when I get back from the weekend away. So I went out, I literally ducked under the sharp bit of roof that points down, the apex. I ducked under it to get to the compost heap, emptied the compost bin, stood up, and then just turned around and just whacked my head on the sharp bit of the shed roof and the bird feeder. The bird feeder was swinging all over the place. I whacked my head on it and got this huge scar, got makeup on it now, so you can't really see it, but it's a massive red scar. I was like, oh my God, I'm about to go and do a load of filming for Ellis Brigham where I've got to be a presenter. I got this big massive scar on my head. But thankfully at the Glenmore Lodge weekend they'd given me an Ellis Brigham buff, so I was able to put that on across my head like that so that I could be all Ellis Brigham'd up for the Ellis Brigham film because they're sponsoring it, which is really great of them, and it covered up my Harry Potter scar as well. I've been joking to everybody that it's just my unicorn horn trying to grow through, so I don't even know if that's funny, but I just thought it was vaguely amusing for at least 3 Twitter posts. Yep. So everyone else has been doing the same thing. So Paul has been, the day after I banged into the shed, he whacked his head on the cooker hood. Ow, that sounds really painful. Had people replying to me on social media saying, yep, I usually do the same thing with a car boot. So I'm not alone, but it still hurt and it's still annoying and it makes me look like a massive wally. So thanks for putting up with it. I was going to cover it up for today's show, but I was like, no, this is me. This is my life. I'm going to just broadcast that to the nation. Yeah, so then let's open this. What is it? I've seen those unboxing films on YouTube, and I've always thought no one does that, no one watches that, but I'm going to do one and see if everyone likes it. So this has come to me from Kit, and have we got any guesses as to what it might be? It's quite long and thin, it's kind of heavy, and feels like it's got some bubble wrap around it, so it might be something that they don't want bashed around or bent. So it's quite well wrapped up. There's another. It's like pass the parcel. There's another one here. I wonder what it could be. Actually, I know exactly what it is, actually. So there we go. Bit of a packing note from Kit. Go good places, do nice things. Then we've got, it is a pole. Running pole. So thank you very much to Kit. They have sent me a pair of their running poles. So these look lovely, actually. Let's see what they are called. Doesn't say what name they have. Here we go. Trekking poles. They just seem to be called the Kit trekking poles. I don't think they are, though. Great. So this is a little thing that tells you how to use them. There, lots of instructions. Then you've got Happy Christmas. Welcome to Kit. And this is if you want to take it back, the order forms. This is the Kit Foundation, so that's a charity that enables people to go nice places and do nice things. So you can apply for activities there and school group things. But these look really cool. So these are the Kit trail running poles. And let's just see how much they weigh, first of all. So I've got a set of scales here. They've got a little mud or snow bat on there, and they've got a plug at the end for this tip here. They are quick lock. I'm just going to weigh one of them just here. They're called the Marathon Ultra Poles. I've just read it on the side. So they're 202 grams. 202 grams. So that is a bit on the heavy side, if I'm honest with you. There's this little bit of Velcro as well. That's a little bit heavy, I would say. The other poles that I was testing came up as more like, I think they were more along the 120 grams mark. And then to put them together, it's very simple, I think. There we go. I don't know how that goes in there. I don't know how this works. How does this work, anyone? Maybe I shouldn't have done an unboxing. This is embarrassing now. I don't know how it all works. Poles, yay! John Gardner says, I survived a visit from the evil shed wizard because I am beloved by the running community. Oh, thank you, John Gardner. How very sweet of you. And Richard Nash said, I ordered a head torch from Kit last week. Going to be interesting to see how the kit is in general. Tobbs is saying I should use gaffer tape. Yes, I don't know. Oh, this might be it. Oh, God, I've just broken it. Oh, dear. This is a very bad idea, wasn't it? Very sorry, Kit. No one tell Kit that I've done this live unboxing and don't know how their pole works. Maybe I should just read the instructions. Okay, let's read the instructions. Quick wire connectors. Adjust the length using the snap lock mechanism. Okay, so this is the snap lock mechanism. I'm adjusting it to 120 centimeters because I know from the Glenmore Lodge weekend that is what I am. So that's adjusted to there. Then it says to fold, pull out the lowest pole section, allowing the connectors to slide into position until the locking pin pops out. Oh, there's a locking pin. Where's that? Oh. Has anyone got a pair of these poles? This is the other one, but we don't need to do it on both. Oh, I think that's another. There isn't a locking pin. There's no locking pin. So how do you get this to work. I'm sure I will get this to work, but I just don't know how right now. And that's quite embarrassing to do this live on YouTube. No one tell anyone that I did this, especially not OutKit. Sometimes there's a thing at the top of the pole to tighten the cord. Never read the instructions that go on the bike saying, oh, don't you just love it when live TV goes completely wrong? Paul says, what a bloke thing to do, never read the instructions. I never read the instructions. I don't think it's a bloke thing to do. I think it's just a person thing to do. I hate reading the instructions. But anyway, these are the OutKit Marathon Ultra Poles. And the great thing about the Marathon Ultra Poles is that they are super, super good value. So I'm just going to Google them. OutKit Marathon Ultra Poles, and it should tell me what the price is here. So thank you everyone for being very supportive while I completely balls up this unboxing. So the Ultra Twin Poles, okay, so these are 72 grams. So that's really, really good. If I can find some of my pole chat from the other week, then I'll be able to tell you how the weights compare. Okay, yes, I've got the pole chat from the other week. Okay, so the Lecky Micro Trail Vario. Oh, actually, yeah, so the Micro Trail Vario from Lecky, they were 210 grams, and these were 200 grams. So that's actually really good. Black Diamond, their pole was 186 grams, so a little bit lighter there. And Mountain King poles were 130 grams. So the OutKit poles actually are doing really well for the weight. So they are coming up as 202 grams. So that's actually lighter than the Lecky poles, not quite as light as the Black Diamond poles, and a lot heavier than the Mountain King poles, but a lot of them were. If you wanted to go for non-foldable poles, then the Micro Trail Pro from Lecky, that's 195 gram, and the Distance Carbon Z from Black Diamond, that's 150 grams. But for poles with variation on them, which is comparable to the Lecky Micro Trail Pro and the Black Diamond Distance Z, these are actually in the running. And the Lecky poles, they're about 140 pounds. Black Diamond is similar, and these are half the price. So that says to me, if you can get them to, if I can read the instructions and make the poles stick together, these look like a great option, a great low budget option for running poles. So that's brilliant. Hold the top section and pull the handle up, James Hunter said. Somebody wants me to do a live stream of setting up the Christmas tree. Okay, nope, that doesn't work either. Nope, it's a mystery. I'm going to have to read the instructions. Hang on. Sometimes there's a thing at the top of the pole to tighten the cord. There's no thing. There's no thing. Richard Nash says, on the red bit under the handle, is that the locking pin? That I think it's two different types of pole that it's telling me about. Adjust for length using the snap lock mechanism. Pull out the lowest pole section, allowing the connectors to slide into position. Pull out the lowest pole section. So that's that one, isn't it? Pull out the lowest pole section. Allow to fold in. Press the locking pin. There's no locking pin. I cannot see a locking pin. I really can't. Why can't we do this, everyone? Where is the locking pin? There's no locking pin, is there? I can't see a locking pin. Right, there's a video on OutKit poles. I'm gonna watch it. I think I should go now. I'm gonna watch the video, and then I'm gonna come back to you with next week with a full knowledge on how to use these poles. Yeah, I'm just gonna stop him. But yes, okay, so that was a slightly bungled attempt at me showing you the OutKit ultramarathon poles. I'm very sorry, OutKit, if you watch this. This is not indicative of how OutKit poles work at all. They do definitely work. Lots of people know and love them. And I'm very sorry that I bungled this, but it is live and it is an unboxing. And it should be easy to do straight from the box, wouldn't you think? But yeah, next week I will talk about these poles and I will show you how to definitely use them properly. Just want to read one more comment out. Neil Coe, Decathlon trousers. He says they're a great fit, they work well, and at £35, he doesn't mind if he's diving through rough trails while it might get snagged. Cool. Yeah, so that's a one big up for the Decathlon waterproof trousers at only £35. So if you're on a budget, then off you go. Go off to Decathlon. Brilliant. Shane Kenny loves the live streams. Yes, just because it went really wrong today. Trek Snappy says, hello from Taiwan. Fantastic. Well, we have one more live stream on a Tuesday at 1 p.m. before we move to the new time on a Wednesday evening of 8:30 p.m. And so at that time, I'm going to be doing one gear stream. So 2nd of January, that's going to be the first ever one on Wednesday at 8:30 p.m. So join me then to talk about some awesome gear. I've got something really good that I'm going to tell you about. It's kind of what I was previously doing, but there's a ton of them. So I'm going to do a really good gear show on that. And then oh, thanks, John Gardner. He says, not bungled, just live. Thanks, John. And then the next week, the following week, I shall start to have a trail guest. So one Wednesday, we're going to have gear chat. The next Wednesday, we're going to have trail chat. So it's going to be an elite athlete or a coach or a physio or a nutritionist, and you can all ask your questions. And then if you're a patron person, then you'll get preferential treatment and I'll answer your questions above and beyond anyone else. So if you're not a patron already, then just check out the benefits that you can get on there and see if you want to sign up for anything so that I put your questions forwards to the elite athletes first. I'm going to try and get some really awesome elite athletes on there. So some of my patrons have been giving me a list already. John Gardner, he's given me some ideas of who he wants me to interview next year. So definitely get onto Patreon if you want any sort of sway in who I interview or what types of gear that I cover. And yeah, basically just keep on running, keep on enjoying your trail runs. Like, I just want to say, you don't have to keep going faster. You don't have to keep going further. You don't have to run 100 miles. You don't even have to run 50 miles. You don't even have to run 10 miles if you don't want to run 10 miles. Just enjoy yourself out there on the trail. Just keep going. Just enjoy the views, enjoy chatting to people, enjoy testing out new gear, and basically, more importantly, enjoy the cake at the end, because let's face it, that is why we all run, for the cake and the views. So yeah, thank you everybody for watching. It's been a real blast doing these at 1 p.m. on a Tuesday. We'll have one final one next Tuesday at 1 p.m. Then the next Tuesday is Christmas Day, so sorry, I'm not going to be live then. And I'm sure none of you will be around to watch me anyway. But I might put out a little Christmas present video just for you at 1 p.m. So do just take a look at the YouTube channel when you've got a spare 5 minutes digesting your turkey. Thanks everybody for your support. Richard Nash is saying some lovely things. Tobb's saying some lovely things. That guy on the bike saying some lovely things. John Gardner saying some excellent things. Guy Greater saying some brilliant things. Shane Kenny putting some big thumbs up there. So yes, thank you so much for watching. I will be back here 1 p.m. next Tuesday, then 2nd of January, Wednesday, 8:30 p.m. Be there. Okay, I'm going to say goodbye now because I've talked for an hour. So thanks very much for watching, and I will see you out there on the trails.